how I use my adversities to find purpose. I know that life is about one thing above all else, and that's purpose. The one who has found his or her purpose, I can say life is beautiful. For the one who is living devoid of purpose, life can be intolerable hell. But understand this, guys. When adversity comes to a purpose without purpose, life will seem pointless. When adversity comes to a purpose with purpose, when adversity comes to a person with purpose, life will take on a special meaning. I want you guys to understand that purpose reframes adversity, and adversity comes to us all. And I want you guys to know that sometimes it does come in little droplets. And at other times, it's like the floodgates have opened. You know, I would say that we fear that we will be consumed, maybe drowned, whatever that looks like, because adversity is an equal opportunity destroyer. It does not care if your color is white or blue. I want you guys to understand that a wise person cannot reason their way around it.
Because it's cameras on.
The strong.
On the Zoom.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Cornell, but we can't see you. Do you have your thing off?
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, we hear you.
Let me look here.
Yeah, but we can't see you.
Oh my goodness.
I think
sorry,
you had,
guys.
Yeah. There we go.
Can you guys see me? I don't even see myself. I don't know where.
I think we're seeing. I'm seeing you now.
I could see you.
You guys can see me. Okay. Yes. So I apologize for that, guys. I really I'm still trying to see where I'm at, but it's okay. From you guys can see me, I'm good. Yes? Okay. So, you know, with what I was talking about on the different individuals that can't necessarily outsmart adversity, you know, like me talking about the wise person, and then also talking about how a strong person can fight their way through that, or a rich person cannot buy their way out of it. I want you guys to understand that adversity will come to everyone in various ways and different degree. You know, your challenges, mine, you know, is simply to let your purpose guide you through adversity. The greatest thinker of our time have taught us to use the power of purpose to overcome the greatest obstacles. For me, I understand that adversity is not strong enough to destroy me unless I surrender to it. And I want you guys to understand that, you know, let's say you're lost, right? Or, you know, you're trying to wade through deep waters or whatever that is, you know. The fire of adversity and trauma are not strong enough to consume you, you know. So if you can discover your purpose, while your purpose may not be clear to you at the moment, you must remember that it was determined long before this current crisis, whatever that crisis is that you're going through. Understand your path is being carved for you before you took your first breath. You know, you may have been living unaware of the divine interventions that, you know, have led you to maybe one great thing that have give life or your life that meaning, right? For me, I feel like sometimes adversity is needed to remind us of our purpose. And other times, adversity can be like the vehicle that clarifies our purpose, right? This, I would say, for me, my experience, when everything was taken from me, when I faced heartbreak and adversity and was in a dark place, that was actually where I found my purpose. And I got to tell you guys, adversity ushered in the light that helped me to escape from the dark, because I really was in a dark place when I was in jail, and I was in there for 10 months. One of the thing I found, because I was reading a lot of the Bible stuff, and in the Bible there's this book called Isaiah, and in it there's a piece in Isaiah that talks about how you will discover a pathway through the wilderness and water in the desert. You will be renewed and refreshed as you see a way through the deep waters. And you will see that the fires of adversity burn up all that does not serve you. And this imagery is rich with power and promise. The reference to the desert is made again and again throughout literature, right? But it's not just the desert that is present in these ancient texts, right? It is the juxtaposition of the desert and the river, the desert and the sea, the desert and plentiful water, right? This imagery seeks to open our mind to the possibility that even in the most unusual place, amazing things can happen. Even in the desert, we can find places of abundance. Even in the darkness, we can find the light. For me, even in jail, which was where I found my purpose, that is actually the place that actually connected the dots for me. And I got to say, our job is to have the faith to believe that a path will be made for us in the darkest desert and through the wilderness of adversity. I discovered the path meant for me, right? After months in darkness of this jail cell, the light of my purpose shone through for me to see. I discovered that I am a storyteller. And when I was on a journey, this was a time when I was in South Africa. I was in Johannesburg, and my team decided to take me over to Soweto. They wanted me to see Nelson Mandela's house. And I met this elder, and this elder said, you are meant for something more. You will inspire others. You will bring light to darkness through the power of your stories. And with that, it really had me in somewhat of a mindset of thinking on what would that look like, And he said to me, have you ever heard of the story about this farmer that had acres of diamonds? And I said, no. He said, look it up. He never even told me about the story. And I did. And so I learned about this story of an African farmer who listened to the tales about other farmers who had made millions by discovering diamond mines. The tales got the farmer attention so bad that he could hardly wait to sell his farm and go prospecting for diamond himself. He sold his farm and spend the rest of his life wandering the African continent, searching unsuccessfully for the gleaming gem that brought such high price in the market of the world. And finally got worn out. And in a fit of despondency, he literally threw himself into a river and drowned himself. The man that had bought the farm happened to be crossing a small stream on the property one day when he saw like this bright flash of blue and red light from the stream, right? So he bent over, and when he bent over to pick up the stone, it was good sized stone, and it was so admiring to him that he actually brought it back to his house, put it on his fireplace mantle as an interesting curiosity, right? So several weeks later, like one of his friends, they came to the house, picked up the stone, looked closely at it, and it was like, he was like, "Do you know what you found here?" And the farmer said, "No, I just, I thought it was a piece of crystal, and his friend says, "No, you found one of the largest diamonds ever discovered." The farmer had trouble believing that, and he told his friend that his creek was full of such stones, a lot in smaller sizes and all these different things. And that really, the sprinkled generosity throughout the what this creek looked like, it was just amazing. But think on the farmer who first had this farm and had sold it that he might find diamond mines. It turned out that he had the richest mine in the entire African continent. Imagine if the first farmer he owned this free and clear, he had all this. He had acres of diamonds. He sold that farm for practically nothing to look for diamonds elsewhere. The moral is clear. If the first farmer had only taken the time to study and prepare himself to learn what diamonds look like in their rough state, and to thoroughly explore the property he had before looking elsewhere, all of his wildest dreams would have come through. The thing about this story has so profoundly affected millions of people is the idea that each of us is, at this very moment, standing in the middle of our own acres of diamond. If we only had the wisdom and patience to intelligently and effectively explore our corners of the world and ourselves, we would most likely find the riches we seek, whether they be financial or intangible or both. I would say true wisdom is to know yourself. And when Socrates had pinned those words over, I want to say 2,000 years ago, it was for a play in which one character uttered the iconic line to another, insisting that he should consider his place and purpose in the universe. It's easy to say, but tough to do. Yet it is a necessary step if you plan to live your purpose. You have to know who you are. You have to know what you do not know and what your limits are. it may seem nonsensical to suggest that people should know themselves. Doesn't everyone already know themselves? The answer is a resounding no. Sadly, most people don't know themselves and repeat the same destructive patterns that bring them unhappiness. The path to peace are lost to them because they have not done the deep introspective work required to know exactly who they are and exactly what they want. But who could blame them? The plunge into our psyches is a scary trip. You know, your soul is a scary place, which lies your hurts, pain, and disappointments. Looking deep within, you may discover the things about you that you dislike the most. You know, your flaws, you know, your inconsistencies, your fears, your lies, and, you know, we're not going to leave out your defeats. But I can say we all have a monster, maybe two living inside of us. But we have to slay those dragons if we expect to find the treasures that lie deep below the surface. The good news is that when you embark on the journey to know yourself, in addition to all of the things you dislike or fear, you will find all of the great things that make you who you are. Your skills, gifts, and talents are buried treasures that must be unhurted, to take you to the next level of life. In the business world, interviewers call these strengths and weaknesses. We've all had to answer that difficult and surprisingly intrusive question when we are asked to list what is great about us and what may present a challenge for a future employer, right? Like, you know, few people probably comfortable with, you know, how they sound singing. You know, there's a few to it that you look at and you said, okay, they have the answer to the question if they want to get that job, right? So they do, right? And, you know, you similarly to this, you know, we do not want to reveal to a total stranger the elements of our personality that we dislike or hide. So instead, we come up with an answer that is neither truthful nor revealing to make it through the interview. But we know that someplace inside of us need to be exposed to the light. While we don't want to expose them in an interview, during our own time of stillness and quiet, we can look at those questions and answer them honestly. The process of self-discovery is not an easy one. It is the most difficult thing you will experience. This is not about who you are now. I can say, I mean, and this might sound harsh, I don't care about who you are. The real question is who and what you are destined to be. One way to start is to answer this question, and listen me carefully. What can I create in the world that would never have existed without me? The answer might be a song, a chair, a book, a game, a hairstyle, a company, a school, an orphanage, a charity, baked goods. What you think of anything that is being created and humans turn it into in demand. Think of this. The truth is, it doesn't matter. The point is to lay your hands on something that will never come into the world without your involvement. You know, we live in a culture where people say, love yourself, take care of yourself, be yourself. It seems as if we want to love ourselves, but we struggle to find something about ourselves that is truly lovable. We are trapped in circles of self-depreciation, comparison to others, and chronic complaining. We don't look good enough. We don't weigh the right amount. So ribs and muscles aren't in the spots we want them. We aren't married to the right person. Our children don't behave as we want. We don't live where we want. We don't live how we want. Some people live their dreams. Other people spend money to watch those people who are living their dreams. And understand this, it's quite a paradigm shift. Every time we sit down to watch a basketball game, a movie, a television show, or a concert, we are watching someone's blood, sweat, and tears come to fruition. We pay for all the important look into their life, but the performance is only a tiny part of it. Sure, celebrities and wealthy people live lavish life, you know, and I can see that. They take expensive vacation, wear the finest clothes, and live in the lap of luxury, but they pay a high internal price for the millions of dollars they earn. For some, the price is too high and ends in drugs overdose, alcohol poisoning, or suicide. But for others, they are high on life, doing what they love to do, being where they want to be. 9 hours in the studio is not drudgery for them, it's heaven. Hitting 1,000 golf balls for a professional golfer is like a trip to the amusement park. The real question is, are you living your life or are you watching others live theirs? You need to have a 360-degree view of your life. Here is how I see. The past gives you experience, wisdom, and perspective. The present should bring you peace, purpose, and contentment. The future is meant to provide hope, ambition, and excitement. Together, all three perspectives help you to be the best person you can be, with an outlook on life that is always hopeful, content, and expectant. Dreams that don't come to fruition can bring disappointment, but our limited vision for the future can never compete with God's all-knowing perspective. As we yield ourselves to Him, we can be certain that He is still lovingly directing our steps, even when we don't see the path ahead. And you can find that, of course. Like I said, I read a lot of the Bible in the jail, so that you can find in Proverbs. I think it's Proverbs 16:9 that says, this is how did I come to know myself. And I want you guys to understand How did I find my purpose? My journey to jail, spending 10 months behind bars, helped me to live the story of how adversity helped me to find my purpose. How I escape a dark place, an only place. A fly helped me find the light. And now I can say, you can too. I'm Cornell Bunting, and I yield the mic.